on the road again. I thought I would stop here at this very scenic spot in Limerick, just to give you a view of the lake, which is still pretty much frozen. Most of it is anyway. A little bit around the edges there you can see some open water. Got somebody here walking their dog. And if you look, we'll try to zoom in on that, Mount Washington. That's about as close as I can get from here, which doesn't do it justice at all because it's really quite scenic from here. So we're going to start our journey now from Limerick. We've got to go to Cornish. And Route 5 is a pretty scenic route, although I think 160 is just as nice. Anyway, this is where we're at. Maybe this summer when we're on the bike we can do a nice blog, video, vlog, whatever they call it, from the bike. I don't have a GoPro, but I think this camera will do fine if I can figure some way to strap it to the bike, maybe with the GoPro stick might hold it up enough to film while I'm riding. A selfie stick. Again, this is Route 5. On our way to Cornish from Limerick. I might decide to add some music so you may or may not hear my voice. We have a little sculpture here which is pretty interesting. Hopefully you get to see that. I tried to slow down a little bit and zoom in on it. Kind of an interesting metal dinosaur sculpture. We have lots of farmland on Route 5. There's a couple of sand pits. Obviously somebody chopping wood, splitting wood, toting water. I think that's a Buddha saying, isn't it? When you're little, you gotta chop wood and tote water, and when you get old, you gotta chop wood and tote water. I don't know. Anyway. Look at that, we're in Cornish already. Memory serves correctly, this should bring us right into Main Street. I'm not totally sure. I've only been on it 100 times. We just get in the habit of driving this way. We don't really pay much attention about where we end up. We just know where we're going. And I'm going to Hiram eventually. I'd like to say there's limited traffic on the road, but unless it's summertime, and even then I'm not sure that there's a whole lot of traffic on this road any given day of the week. Might see a few more cars during the commuter times, but I don't think it's a heavily traveled road. Still plenty of woods around here. I used to be one of those that was concerned about sprawl, but I have become less so concerned about sprawl. When you travel around the rural area of Maine, you realize just how much land we have has undeveloped. I had a buyer once from the UK, and we were looking at some property out in this area, and he was just amazed. He wanted to know who owned all this land, and I just told him some individual property owners, multiple people. And he couldn't understand that because from the UK, most of the land is owned by one person or a couple people, probably. Whoever the local land baron was, and individuals don't own land there apparently. He said most houses, when you buy them, it's a leased land, so you don't own the land, you just have a 100-year lease on it, and you build on somebody else's land, which is again, the local landowner. I'm trying to think of the term that I've heard used in Scotland, but probably used in England as well. But anyway, he was amazed that it was just owned by individuals. I'm sure originally the land was given to somebody from the King of England, because he thought he owned everything here in this country. And I guess he probably did. Guessing the king would give out land to people that were supportive of his regime, I guess you could call it. Supportive of his policies. So we're coming into what I believe is Main Street. I could be wrong, but pretty sure. Yeah, Main Street. It's definitely quiet. Even in Cornish, I guess people are staying in. Hardware. Got some sun in our eyes again. We have a river right there. Those of you that are familiar with Cornish, on the weekend, it's Antique Haven, and of course I would say most of them are closed, which they appear to be. So therefore there is very little going on. I'm going to take the back road to Hiram. Seems how we're doing a little video. Might be nice to see the back way rather than I think this is going to be end up River Road, hence a river. Pretty much a one-lane bridge. There is a stringed instrument work. I don't know if he just repairs stringed instruments or makes them. Friendly River Fretted Instruments. I have been in there a couple times and actually had him do some work on my fiddle at the Ospey Fair one year, a number of years ago. He had a booth there. If you go left, you go on Durgantown Road, my namesake. I had relatives that lived up on Durgantown Road. Their own schoolhouse and farm. many, 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 many years ago. Grandmother, great-grandfather time. And this is going to be a pretty bumpy road. So hopefully you don't get car sick from the video. I'll try to keep it as flexible as possible. So I guess no resting it on the steering wheel. I would say the hardest part of this is trying to keep an eye on the road as well as keeping the camera pointed at the road. Okay. I guess this camera only does a video of a certain length or time because it shut off. We're still on River Road. Again, there's some hay fields, I guess, because they're certainly not growing anything. Speed limit is 30, and I can't imagine anybody doing over that this time of year with the frost heaves. Oh, some flowers and leaves on a tree. Not usually a good sign. Somebody probably ran into the tree. Oh, we got a memorial. Probably a dozen houses on this road, along with a couple of rather large farmhouses. But I don't really see much farming going on. Couple of roads like this that are gated off, that somebody doesn't want you going up there, they're probably logging it. This part you can see some glacial deposits. You can see multiple rocks within that One big mountainous rock structure. Anyway, I thought it was pretty interesting. Again, I'm not sure how much of it you'll be able to see, but... And here we come to the river again. This is a little spot where you can throw a line in. Maybe a canoe, I'm not sure exactly where. There are some floats over there that say danger on them, but I do think it's a launch for a canoe and fishing line for sure. Difficult to record that while we're moving. I do have places to go. But if you're ever in the Cornish Hiram area, trek on down the River Road. Very scenic. It would be interesting to know if it was if those rocks were climbable by someone. I don't know if it's. I didn't see any signs for no trespassing or anything, but certainly before you started rock climbing, you'd want to find out who the owner was. But could be a good little rock climb for beginners. Quite a bit of swamp to the left of me. A couple of mallards over there. If you hung around long enough, maybe you'd see a moose. So we're still along the river. Seems to have a pretty good current to it today. Supposed to get some more rain this Monday maybe? I don't know. There is a railroad trestle over there. You probably can't see it. I'll try to go slow. Maybe it'll come into view somewhere here, but again, I think it would be perhaps a good place to throw a line. Must be somebody's summer place, as there's nobody there right now. Russell. And it says posted private property, so maybe you can't get to the trestle. There is one over there. And there's the railroad tracks. Maybe you could follow the tracks along. They're not used anymore. Probably never will be. There is a campground over there as well. There's those tracks again. Go all the way to New Hampshire. But I don't expect they'll ever be used. I don't know. I know there's a campground there, but I don't really know much about it. If it's open or if it's just family and friends or what. But it always seems like it has a lot of campers. Into Hiram. This used to be a general store. It is not anymore. I don't know if they do anything there besides live, but all right. Community center up here on the left. Post office is up this next left. And the fire department. The all-volunteer Hiram Fire Department. The library on the right. And this is where we're going, right here, 97 Main Street. And there is a park here. I'm guessing that's Civil War Memorial. And the store over there, I don't believe is open anymore. All right, there you have it. So I wanted to come back and comment about the statue that's in the park in Hiram, and it is to commemorate the valor and patriotism of the men of Hiram who served in the war with Spain. So there you go. It's a statue to commemorate Spanish-American War. Okay.